We were told to remove all traces of Scientology from our flat, so it couldn't be linked. And then we were told her boyfriend, who was our flatmate, he went to her flat and got rid of all her Scientology stuff that she had there. Huge cover over. This beautiful, beautiful girl killed herself. And we just carried on like nothing had happened.
This incident happened in 1980. An affidavit from the woman's boyfriend says there was no attempted cover-up. Scientology leaders say they cooperated fully with officials and members were not told to clear any materials out. They state that Jenny is inventing the conspiracy. But Scientology is not the only organisation ex-members accuse of mishandling mental health. Although they deny it, Avatar Masters have been accused of using relationship control.
Avatar have this thing called enlightened planetary civilization, and what they're basically saying is you're one of the chosen few, and if you only listen to what Harry Palmer says and you do these $20,000 worth of courses, then you will be enlightened.
After 10 years as a Scientologist, Harry Palmer created the self-development Avatar program. His company, Stars Edge International, trains and licenses Avatar Masters.
I think it's very easy to get caught up in something where you are part of an elite group of people that are working for the greater good of mankind, and only by using this package are you going to get there.
Like Scientology, Avatar offers self-help therapy without the stigma of conventional psychology.
I think what people found quite exciting about the Avatar program was that you didn't have to go through years of visiting a psychologist or a psychiatrist dealing with past traumas or past stuff, because the Avatar materials basically said it's just a belief that these things affect you, so if you let that belief go, then you're in the present moment, you don't have anything to worry about, you can create whatever you like.
So I will write up these affirmations, I'm a millionaire, I'm sexy, all women love me and people fall at my feet, and now I'm going to go and create this universe and this reality.
Part of the agreement that you sign is that they are not liable for any fallout, and that if you have got a history of psychiatric illness or instability in any way, they take no responsibility for it.
I would not have let vulnerable people on the course. The problem is that it's the exact opposite. They actually advertise that you can get healing from your psychological issues. You can stop taking your medication. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. What I'm saying is it's dangerous, because what they're supplanting with is even more dangerous than the psychological drugs they're taking. There were several people in the course who just either dropped out or who had quite painful emotional experiences which, to my personal belief, they didn't handle properly.
One woman in particular, Alison, had a complicated history of depression and mental illness and died several months later.
Alison committed suicide. If someone who's had a fair amount of depression in their lives, and I don't know whatever personal upset she has, after doing a course that opens them up, they'll kill themselves. Sure, it's a contributing factor. I don't think there's any doubt in that.
In Scientology, it's not just the therapy that former members criticize. It's how easy it is to become a therapist.
If you read Dianetics and you're willing to risk another person's sanity, you're an auditor. Anybody can pick up the book and just run it on somebody. Of course, the nightmare is that the person that you're auditing will have a psychotic break. The whole time you're in Scientology, you see hints of tragedies. You see people's lives that have been ruined, particularly at their delivery building in Florida, where I worked. It's called Flag. A lot of people, they go insane. They start talking to imaginary people or tell everyone that they are actually L. Ron Hubbard. Just anything that's just completely, obviously not the case. So it becomes an embarrassment to Scientology, because they don't want the other public to see that what they're about to pay for has just driven somebody to, being a vegetable. So the first priority is to hide that person, and that's where that babysitting thing comes in. Here in Auckland, I got a phone call from the Office of Special Affairs here to go and pick him up, a guy who went nuts. He'd set off from Auckland walking to Hamilton, and he got as far as Hurnua, gone into a factory and phoned Scientology. So I was sent down to get this guy and bring him back, and he was just a nutcase. He was a basket case. So I took him up to the Office of Special Affairs. I was aware that the Office of Special Affairs got him to sign a declaration that Scientology had not driven him insane.
Scientology says this person had a history of depression and that they helped him get medical attention per church policy. They also deny he was asked to sign any such statement and say the rest of Lance's claims are untrue and are specifically denied. The leader of Auckland's Centrepoint commune, Bert Potter, focused his community's attention on 1970s relationship counselling.
If Bert wanted somebody off his case, he could always just give your partner a task to do this, and then that's all you're thinking about.
You're to sleep with 6 men by the end of the week. Okay?
He would give one member of a couple the task to go and have sex with 6 men this week.
Okay, Ben.
And the partner, you're not to have any sex with anybody this week. It would all be put in like a profound psychological, spiritual goal out of this, but really it just, what else would that couple be thinking about that week? They wouldn't be saying, what are you doing with the money?
A key relationship in any organisation is with the leader. But ex-members say there comes a point in a cult when you realise the leader has been lying to you.
As a leader learns they can manipulate you, new motivations may begin to emerge. A key sign of a cultic environment is a hidden agenda. You may soon discover your leader has been writing his own rules.
They need to deceive you. They need to appear as one thing, the great group who's helping world peace, or the great group who's helping cure drug addicts, when in reality they're perhaps a money-grubbing group that wants to get you involved so they can get their hands on your bank account.
It wasn't until the place broke up that we discovered things were not as we thought they were. They were living, would you call it the high life? I'm not sure, but they had everything, while others lived in tents, buses and caravans. And you'd hear on the radio from the house, oh, Daryl, on your way home, can you pick up a couple of punches of banana and a bottle of cream and some strawberries? And I was sitting there thinking, I can't even afford one banana, and they're buying bunches of bananas. We shopped in second-hand shops, and that's how we survived. Whereas Metcalf had a bag full of cash, because everything was handed over in cash. There was no cheques, no putting it into your bank account. It was all cash in hand, and we reckon he probably had $20 million over a period of time. Easy.
A cult leader has 3 key motivations usually: gold, glory, or girls. In other words, money, power, or sex.
I think Palmer found the way to deal with people's suffering and make a huge amount of money out of it. And it was like bingo, he'd hit the jackpot.
You've come to get this specific key, and you've agreed to pay $1,000, and you've almost got the key, but the key is now promised in the next course, which is $3,000. You get caught. You're constantly going for this key. They give you more information surrounding the key, but they never give you the key. The key is in the next course. Listen, when you get the key is really simple. You're infested by aliens. That's why you can't get your primaries. It's sick. If that's the final truth you're paying $20,000 or $80,000 for, let's tell the world that now. Don't waste your money.
To get to the top of the bridge of Scientology, you're talking about $300,000 US.
They're out to make money. They're seriously into money, business, school. They're going to make this thing work.
In 2005, 7 elders of the Exclusive Brethren drew media attention for meeting with National Party leaders and for funding an anti-green election campaign.
The minute I knew that they were getting involved in politics, boy, that was a red flag.
They just wanted to assure me that they were praying for the National Party and praying for the leadership of the National Party.
They get little laws changed for their tax things or for their not allowing union guys onto your property if they've had all that stuff passed just purely for them.
Brethren elders say their church is apolitical, teaching biblical principles around working hard to get ahead. They say the businessmen who made political donations have that right as taxpayers.
Sure, everyone's allowed to represent themselves in Parliament or take submissions to Parliament, etc. I think there's probably a bit more of a sinister thing than a lot of people realise. I know that they've done it in the Australian government, they did in the American government. It's just basically a money thing. It's a big, power, money go together. That's just my opinion on that.
Experts identify hidden agendas as a key danger sign. Many cults collapse amid accusations of hypocrisy, corruption, and in the worst cases, sex abuse.
It's not uncommon for the cult leader to have unrestricted access to sex with members of the cult, but there'll be prescriptions against other cult members having exactly the same sorts of freedoms.
In the meetings, he had a code word for whoever he wanted to take there that night. If he ordered coffee for supper, it was so-and-so. If he ordered Milo, it was that one over there, or if he wanted green tea, it was that one over there. One day, one of the young women said to one of the other women what had happened to her when she was 13. He raped her, and then said, if you tell anybody, I'll take you up to the hills and kill you. Simple as that. And that just blew the whole thing wide open. Everybody just left.
Tragically, many leaders who exhibit cult-like behaviour take their absolute freedom to its taboo-breaking extreme. Too often, the sexual abuse of children.
When I got to Centreport, the children, there was thieving, there was all sorts of stuff that to me meant these children are not okay. I went to what would have been the head woman and her second in command, and I said, something is not right with the children here. And they both turned on me and went, you're projecting your own pain onto these children. Go away and sort out your own problem. Bert would say that they're not your children, they're the community's children.
It was a nudist community, so there was quite a big set-up, like swimming pool and spa and things like that. So it's just so normal for me to shower with another man. So it was not abnormal to see like a 50-year-old man naked with a 5-year-old child on his knee.
At one phase, a couple of other women and myself formed a committee about that there wasn't to be any adult child sex. But I was still naive enough to believe that if we made a rule like that and that it would stop. But, you know, what I know now is that it all went underground, so it was very covert.
None of the generation of children born at Centrepoint have spoken publicly about the abuse they endured. Until now.
It's just so weird being like piled into a van and being taken away to a cabin. We were getting away, we were going somewhere new, somewhere exciting, and it was still a holiday even though there might have been strange things happening. When I ask Mum about it, I'm like, why was I sleeping in the same bed as a 40, 50-year-old man? How did you not find that strange? And their take on it was just, this is such a lovely arrangement that, you know, we've got these lovely men who are so caring and kind and want to spend so much time with the kids, and, you know, it's sort of this sharing parental system, and how nice.